How does one develop ambition when he isn't ambitious? How does he develop initiative when he doesn't have any? How do you motivate yourself or another person to action? These are questions that I'm often asked by youth coaches, high school coaches, and college coaches, not to mention parents and teachers. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 30 of Sports Mastery. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, heroes and villains. I'm your host, Deshaun Fauntleroy. I know your time is precious, so we're going to get right into today's show. In today's show, we're going to be discussing confidence. 6 confidence building strategies to help lead you to success. Every day, remind yourself that you did something well. Read or watch inspiring biographies and autobiographies. Be thankful. Build excellent support around you. Push yourself to accomplish short-term goals. Do something for yourself every week. So which comes first, success or confidence? It could be that you're already successful, so you have one success after another. On the other hand, there could be a time in your life where a coach or mentor comes to you and says, you know what? I believe in you. I think you can reach your genetic potential. I think you can play college athletics. I think you can be a professional, and then confidence builds from there. So how do we define confidence? Well, let's take a deeper look at self-confidence. A strong belief in one's skills, preparation, and abilities. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about confidence, confidence is built through preparation. Confidence is built upon reflecting on previous successes. You have to prepare with quality. You also have to prepare in quantity. So what that means is whatever you're working on, whatever you're training for, whatever you're practicing, you have to take the approach that you're trying to be the best that you can be every time you're doing a practice, a lesson, a study, a tutorial, or working one-on-one with your mentor or coach. It has to be quality every single time, whether it's for a 5-minute session or for a 55-minute session. You have to be dialed in. Now, when I say quantity, I mean consistency over time. Let's take, for instance, the young football player out there. When you get to a certain point between 7th and 9th grade, but from 7th to 9th grade, you might be able to get away with strength training twice a week because you have no training age. But as you start to get into high school, now it's time to start working out 4 or 5 times a week. So not only do we need quality workouts, we need quantity in terms of maximizing your potential. So this is going to help increase confidence, which is going to lead to success when you have the quality in preparation, but also the quantity. And when I say quantity, I mean consistency in being able to do more or growing in a position to do more work over time as far as honing your craft. So let's talk about it. 6 confidence building strategies. 1, every day remind yourself that you did some things well. Instead of dwelling on what didn't work or the tasks you didn't finish, focus on what you did accomplish. Don't minimize. And if you listen to one of my earlier episodes, use the Be Alert system for your daily habits to clarify this. Give yourself a mental pep talk from time to time at the beginning and end of the day. That way you can coach yourself just like you would help someone else to overcome a challenge. So when I say every day remind yourself that you did some things well, write that down. Write that down in your journal. Today I made every class. Today I also got an assignment back that I got an A+ on. I made it to practice and I had an excellent practice. And on top of that, I was there a half an hour early. So remind yourself that you did some things well. And just remember again, this goes back to your Be Alert system because these are habits that we're building in place, doing things well all of the time. So don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back. This is one of my favorite confidence building strategies, and that's reading or watching inspiring biographies and autobiographies. Read or watch inspiring biographies and autobiographies. I want you to reinforce this one more time. Read books, articles, and magazines. Build a file of those stories that inspire you the most. If you can find something on Netflix or HBO or definitely on YouTube, listen and watch these videos, or even just go to the movies. There are a lot of great stories out there. Find out about people who started with nothing or who had devastating setbacks and still found a way to win. And remember, your capacity far exceeds current level of performance. Life without challenges is an illusion. So accept the fact that you will have ups and downs, just like everyone else. Your confidence grows when you actively take on the challenges of your life. You won't win them all, I can promise you that. But with the right attitude, you'll win more than enough. So remember to read or watch inspiring biographies and autobiographies. One of my favorite biographies, or learning about a particular individual in history that had to overcome hardship, was George Washington Carver. Normally, growing up in the American high school system, you just hear about him inventing the peanut or peanut butter. Carver, he was an accomplished botanist, but also he was great friends with Henry Ford. He also overcame a tremendous hardship from his youth. And what I mean by that is he was adopted when he was young by a family in Iowa. The family had a daughter. So even though they felt that they were doing good in their heart by adopting him, they always had this fear that he would sleep with their daughter. So what they did was castrate him at an early age. And this is something that he had to overcome. And his genius came out later, because it's on record that he was the one that helped Henry Ford develop the plant to produce more cars versus just producing one at a time. So George Washington is credited in history with coming up with the modern day plant as far as production. And he took that insight from him being a botanist with his understanding on plant life. Do your research. The third confidence building strategy is just be thankful. No matter how bad your circumstances may be, there's probably someone else worse off than you. If you doubt this, just go volunteer at your hospital, especially in a children's ward where they're burn victims. That'll help you put things into perspective. Think of all the things and people, just think of all the things and people you take for granted and that are not available in other countries. Most of your problems will pale in comparison when you take a mental snapshot of all the benefits you enjoy today. And one of the most common things that I hear from time to time is you have to look at we are in society today, because even the person that's working from minimum wage right now still eats better than kings and queens of 200 and 300 years ago. They might have been royalty then, but they didn't have heat. They didn't have an AC. They didn't have running water. They didn't have a toilet system. They weren't sleeping on beds. They didn't have access to health care every day. At times, I need you as a student athlete to be thankful for the position that you're in, because it can always be worse. And there's always someone out there that's doing worse than you are. So think about that. Now, the fifth strategy that I want you to take advantage of is build excellent support around you. Think about this. Build excellent support around you. That means understanding that you need great friends. You have to have teachers that you can talk to. This could be your mom and dad. It could be an uncle. It could be an older brother. It can be a teacher at your school. It could be one of your coaches. But you have to build the type of support around you that wants to see you succeed, that's going to hold you accountable, that's not going to be afraid to critique you from a constructive standpoint, especially if you're starting to drift with your goals or actions towards goals that you've expressed in the past. This is what good support people do. They won't lie to you. They're not a rah-rah type of group. They're very practical and they're very logical. So these are the type of people that you want around you that's going to tell you the truth. So keep a good network around you of excellent support. Number 5 in this confidence building strategy is push yourself to accomplish short-term goals. There's no greater way to build confidence than getting things done. So let's create an environment of accomplishment every week. Focus on your 3 most important targets. Every day you do something that moves you closer to finishing a project, a homework assignment, closing a sale, getting a new job or internship, filling out a scholarship application, or getting that. When you're in the middle of these things, don't allow yourself to be distracted or interrupted. Just by doing this, you'll eliminate the feelings of guilt and failure by taking one small step at a time. So make sure your goals are realistic, and always know that self-rejection can shatter your confidence. So don't beat yourself up when everything doesn't come together as you've planned. I need you to be flexible. And when others say no to you, Don't take that personally. The more no's you get, that's just telling you that you're closer to a yes. And accept the fact that you need to lose sometimes before you can win. And this is very important because I've heard this before. I've heard my grandfather say this before when I was younger. Sometimes when you win, you don't win. And sometimes when you lose, you really do win. And as I got older and reflected upon those statements, sometimes you have to learn to lose. You have to learn to lose. You have to learn to find the principles and concepts of why you lost and take those nuggets and turn them into jewels for success. You can always learn more from losing than you can from winning or failing, because then it's not about the failure. It's what you learn from the activities that you have been participating in. So number 6, do something for yourself every week. Find a way to celebrate your weekly accomplishments. You deserve something, don't you? If you said no, go back to step 1 and start again. Take yourself out to lunch. If you like sushi, treat yourself to sushi. If you're a reader, an avid reader such as myself, let's go on Amazon and buy you a new book, or let's physically go down to the bookstore. Let's go to Powell's or Barnes and Nobles. But do something, just do something for yourself every week. If you're not going to take care of yourself or treat yourself right, why should anyone else? So the road to confidence is paved with weekly victories. Weekly victories. That's what we're looking for right now. So let's get them victories, y'all, and pat yourself on the back. If you thought this was going to be some type of run-of-the-mill garden variety podcast show, you're in the wrong place. We're way past dry facts and dry science. What lies behind the Sports Mastery podcast show is my coaching program. My coaching program is designed to help the athlete reach their hopes and dreams, overcome pains and fears, and bust through all barriers and limitations. It doesn't take a PhD to teach confidence. It doesn't take a PhD to teach motivation. Every now and then, it's going to feel like I'm pulling teeth, but what I'm going to share with you is my high-level systems and strategies that I've used with Olympic-level athletes, Division I athletes, and NFL athletes. You can learn more about my high-level systems and strategies at sportsmastery.com/coaching. Get a free 1-hour complimentary consult. Visit that page and fill out the form.